Let the games begin. My name's Dave Ogle, Senior. I'm happen to be the president of the Raymond Historical Society. On behalf of the members, I'd like to present this to Elsie Porter. Her day. This is your... No, I remember that show. I basically wanted just to say hello. We did some of the legwork. One of our members, Kim Prince here, and her daughter Bridget were involved in tracking you down. We knew where you were. Some information on you, and welcome to being here. And this is great. I'm waiting for the rest of the festivities to start. Kathleen, select person.
Thank you.
George?
George is behind you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
He's the man
Chairman
of
of
the
the Board of Selectmen here in Raymond.
Thank you all for coming out. Elsie, on behalf of the citizens of Raymond and the Raymond Board of Selectmen, we want to be the first to congratulate you on being chosen as a recipient of the 2019 Boston Post Cane Award. It is with great honor and pride that we gathered here today to share with you, with your family and friends, your incredible life journey and be a part of this celebration. Again, thank you, Elsie, for sharing your life journey and allowing us to be part of this special day. Thank you. And I present to you,
and I appreciate it.
I present to you the Boston Post cane
Oh my goodness.
and a plaque
Oh yeah.
as the oldest resident in the town of Raymond, New Hampshire, presented November 23rd, 2019.
They're going to put the golden cane in the Historical Society where it'll be supposed to be your name on it. So you won't have to find a place after all.
Are there any other members of the family that would like to say something?
Well, I'd like to say something. Just to say, soon as I get my picture. Yeah, I just wanted to say, Mom's lived in town her entire life. She never moved out. She was born in Raymond and she lived in Raymond all her life. I happen to be lucky to be born on her birthday when she was 34 years old. That was in 1954. And one of my favorite stories that she used to tell is when they got the first electric light in their house. And she said it was like daytime compared to the candles or the kerosene lanterns. And to go back that far and remember that, and I can remember one other thing. She had a Model T when my father and mother got married. And she used to go blueberry picking with her sister Muriel. And loved that Model T. Well, one day my dad decided it was time to swap that Model T and get traded in for something else. We bought a Dodge. She never forgave him. she never forgave him. A bunch of Model T that you love.
Oh yeah.
And to the day he died, she never let him live that down.
Elsie, do you want to say something to us about your life in Raymond?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember. There's a few things that are outstanding. My son was born on my birthday, so we have the same birthday. And of course I'm a little bit older than he is. But anyway, I don't know what to say, but I appreciate the beautiful flowers you're giving me and the recognition of a party and all that. I didn't expect that kind of a thing. And I don't know what more to say. Thank you, everybody.
hints on your longevity? Any hints on your longevity?
Oh, because I'm living so long? Well, I don't know, I try to be good, but I know I ain't always good.
Aunt Elsie,
But
if I get it, this is my aunt, and this is my mother, who's her sister, and we get them together 4 or 5 times. But Aunt Elsie tells me a lot of old stories. She's got tons of them, but she's always telling me that the first 100 years is the hardest.
That's true, she does say that.
God bless you.
I'll say just a word or two. Do I have to stand?
No.
Ah, thank you. I'm gonna.
But this is the only chance she's gonna hold that golden cane.
Okay. I don't know if I ever told my kids this because I didn't want them to realize how old I am, and some of them are here. We know. But I remember one of the places that we lived in an apartment house that was now the VFW in Raymond. A few years before that fire, that house actually ended up having a fire, and then they built a VFW in there. We lived upstairs, and I was 3. And Mom used to, I don't know how she did it, but she dressed us in the finest clothes. And every Saturday morning, she'd have Joyce and I have our bath and be all dressed up in fancy dresses, little white shoes and everything. And then she'd say, okay, now you can go out and stand by the steps and wait for the dump man. The exciting part of that was Fred and Bruno Hadley that took care of the town trash at the time. And we would stand and we would listen because we could hear the horses' feet, the horseshoes coming over the bridge. And we'd say, here they come. And sure enough, we'd wait until an old stinky wagon came and the men driving it. And then my father never forgot to come out and pick me up because I was little. They'd say, throw her right in here, And I was always scared that he would. He'd come right up close to that wagon, but he didn't. But anyways, we've had a lot of good memories. We've been through a lot of different things, as a lot of town people know. Ma's endured a lot, and she's held on to her faith. That's where we all got our faith from. I thank her and my father for that. And a lot of good people and a lot of good friends. We have a nice, close family. And I appreciate everybody here and her recognition today, because that's quite an honor. Thank you.
When you asked her about her longevity, though, one thing I want to point out, and I'm trying to take after her on this, she likes to eat bacon, she drinks Pepsi, she real butter, never mind that margarine artificial stuff, she likes real butter.
Chocolates.
Chocolates. You buy her a pound of chocolates and she will eat them until everyone is gone in one sitting. I tried that, but I don't get the same result.
And the coffee pot never stops. The coffee pot never stops.
Yeah, we keep that going. Anybody want coffee anytime it's ready.
But over the years, her and my dad took a lot of people into their home and let them live with them many times. So it's quite a day.
My turn? Okay, it's my turn. Now, Diane.
I said careful.
No, not yet. Diane said she was only 3, which was true. She called it a dump wagon. It wasn't a dump wagon. It was a dung wagon, and Bruno and Fred used to scoop out outhouses. That's where that went. Okay.
Just pick up the trash in it on the Saturdays.
She's only remembering the good part.
Always had Easter bonnets, patent leather shoes. My mother worked at the first shoe factory, came in Raymond, which was Kowalski's. It turned to Burke Shoe Company and then to Capezio. Those of you who worked at Capezio remember that. I don't know how far back you go from there. Okay. She and Dad Dan Sundin with his wife Elsie, Wilton Clark and his wife Vona. They got together in Sundin's lumberyard. You remember that, Jack? And those three couples sat on paint cans and decided they wanted to put a church in Raymond. So they conjured up some other people, and they started the Evangelical Free Church, which turned later on to be the Baptist Church in Raymond. So they headed up the first church that went that route. Okay. The first pastor there was Mr. Sullivan, and he was a temporary until they got a permanent pastor, who was Lois and Bob Draper. Fantastic people. They work with a young group. We had the Pioneer Girls and the Boys Brigade. Sally, you must remember that. Okay. And then after that was Margaret and John Johnson that came. And then from there on, it went into the Baptist church. Okay. She had a song that she sang to me. I don't remember the tune. Would you want to sing that song about you grew up on the mountain?
Oh, I'd love to.
Great.
I don't know if I remember it.
Okay. I grew up in the mountains.
I grew up in the mountains out where the snakes have legs, where the hoot owls speak in English and the roosters lay square eggs. I shaved my beard and mustache the morning I was born. Then I beat up my old man and I drank his Ryan corn. Oh, I'm a truthful person, I never told a lie, and he was my great uncle, so just why should I?
So her and my dad, they did a lot of singing in churches, and my father belonged to the White Mountaineers. She traveled with him, and she learned a lot of these little funny songs. And every once in a while, she comes up with a song make you laugh. So anyway, that's my short and long of my tale, and I'll stick to it.
I love music, and so we were called at different places to sing, and we enjoyed our lives together very much.
How many years was that, Ma? 69?
70.
70 years.
Okay, back to you.
Is there anyone else?
Just want to say
Oh,
that
Muriel?
Yeah, can we get my mother?
Muriel's over there. That's my mother's sister. She's 95, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
95.
And they both love Chinese food.
And they both like to have that Model T and go blueberry picking again.
And they play rummy at least once a week, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it all winter.
They're doing all that? Okay.
Lots of rummy this winter.
And they win us too.
I've got a question. You're the president of the Historical Society, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you're responsible for getting this lady here.
Well, with all the members, sure.
Well, I have a problem. Looking at her, I don't think she's old enough. I don't think the way she acts, I don't think she's what people are saying she is.
We've counted the rings. She's verified. After that song, she's whatever age she wants to be.
The way she acts and the way she looks, you cannot be the age that people are saying she is. So if you're responsible for to blame anybody, we blame you.
That's it. That's all right.
You look beautiful.
Good for you.
Remember, she always said the first 100's the hardest.
When we opened McDonald's back in '79, that you didn't come down and go to work for us. You should have come down.
Because she was working for
You could have been flipping those hamburgers.
between the shoe factories and Bailey's over in Seabrook.
Yeah.
She worked and probably earned a nickel more than what you'd pay her.
something that's kind of cute. The last show that Bill and I did, we used to put on a lot of shows, and we sang at the Raymond Town Fair for a few years at the fairgrounds and stuff. We had fun. We did a show in Exeter for Meals on Wheels. And this cute little man came up to us, and he was telling us how much he loved our music, because we did the old-time music, you know. We're probably the last ones that do it. And he said, I'm 91 years old, and he says, I really feel pretty young, he says, and I'm looking, I wouldn't mind looking for a pretty lady. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I says, my mother's, at the time, 98. I said, but you're too young for her. He said, you just made me feel good.
Very good. George, Kathy, let's see.
Congratulations.
Let's have some nice,
And
some nice
the family
refreshments here.
and the Historical Society has set out a nice buffet here, and
Yeah,
I hope
family.
you'll all enjoy
And the
it.
family.
Thank you
And the
very much.
family. The family.
Family has
My wife and I first bought that big old farmhouse.
Congratulations.